All right, let's talk a little Broncos here. Combine over. Start to get ready for the free agency tampering period that's going to open up in a week from today, and then the new league year officially starting next week, and it will be frenzy of free agents going, leaving, hopefully landing in the Mile High City if it's the right one. Our buddy Daniel Jeremiah has his top 50 out that will be in the NFL draft, and so with the Broncos picking at 20 and 51, you go, well, can they land two of the top 50? Can they get greedy and land two of the top 40? Because, it's not going to be all top 50 players going
right.
1 through 50. Because as Sean Payton will tell you, some of these teams don't know what the hell they're doing with their draft picks. And Sean does. So I went through the list of top 50 players that Daniel Jeremiah went through, and I kind of wrote down the ones that I think would be on the radar of the Broncos, or at least for me, Cease, and you can go off the list as well of Two of these players, I believe, would be available at 20 and 51, and you could land two of these. Now, the top dogs of Genty and Warren and Loveland, all right, on this list, Ashton Genty's third, Tyler Warren's fifth, Colston Loveland is seventh.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter obviously up there as the players in Jeremiah's mock. So Colston Loveland, yeah, absolutely, you can get there at number 20. What I really started to think about is two things. I mentioned this to you last week. Like, what if Loveland, Warren, Genty, even maybe Amari and Hampton are all off the board? Where do they go? Well, defensive line, that's certainly an option because of how deep this is.
Yep.
But I also started to think because T-Mac is on this list as 14th best player. Best wide receiver, but 14th best overall player. I still believe it's a very slim chance. But if you get to 20 and Genty's gone because the Cowboys took him at 12 and Loveland's gone because maybe it was the Chargers that took that spot with 16 in Arizona, or the Rams jumped up at 19 and took it, whatever the
Bengals
case
need
may
a
be.
tight end.
Bengals need a tight end.
Yep.
Maybe he's just gone and someone hasn't picked T-Mac. What's more likely, Genty to fall to 20 or T-Mac to fall to 20?
Genty to fall to 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I know there's some debate, and the combine will change what people think, and it really shouldn't, because it doesn't necessarily change what teams think. A guy can move within a round, but he can't really jump up a round or two based on a fast 40 time. And Tedero McMillan is the best receiver in this draft class. He's a new version of Mike Evans. If you want to be pessimistic, say Drake London. That's still pretty okay. Michael Pittman, somewhere in that range of receivers. You'll take them all day, and you'll take them before 20. I'll say top 15, right? McMillan should be a top 10 pick. We'll see if it shakes out that way. There will be some movement for the quarterbacks, although it seems like Shedeur is falling in the eyes of some. I don't know, again, how real that is, or if that's just people going, oh, we prefer Cam Ward.
He's 15th on this list, but again, this isn't quarterbacks. This is everybody.
This is everybody. Okay, so who's more likely to be there at 20? It'd be Genty because of the class.
Wow, okay.
Wide receiver is it's not great, Bob. It's not as good as tight end is great. Running back is super great. Defensive tackle is super great. So draft from those classes, and there's a lot of teams having the conversation that we have about the Denver Broncos. Will they decide to pass on running back because you can get a second or third rounder and have a really good starter? Every single team that is thinking about that is thinking the same thing. Okay. The Raiders at 6, possibly interested in Ashton Genty. They're thinking about it. Why don't we just wait and we can get Travion Henderson at the beginning of the second? They're thinking that same thing that we're talking about with the Broncos. So I think that Genty would have more of a spot at 20 than T-Mac.
Okay. Well, and it's to your point, the mocks. We've seen Genty fall twice in some of these mocks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going off the top of my head, but like a 12. I can't remember Dallas at 12, so they haven't picked him. But I don't think I've seen him go past like 10 or 11.
For T-Mac?
The Saints have 9, I think. I've seen him go there a couple of times. Yeah. I don't, outside of the top 15, I don't know that I've seen him go once.
Yeah. And there's some thought like the Jets would be interested. So a lot of landing spots for a guy that's big, physical, and dominant. I don't care what he runs at the 40. I really don't. So again, people get all excitable about the combine. It is a made for TV event. But at the end of the day, the film work's already been done, and it's the film that creates the grade. But the Broncos can pull from this list of this top 50, and they could get a couple of these guys at least.
What if I were to say, all right, for a second, I will prioritize running back over tight end?
Okay.
And what if I said I want my top, this would be Yeah, you're still in top 40, so you're still landing 2 of the top 40. You'll get the 19th best player at 20. That's Kevin's guy, Omari in Hampton.
Yes.
You get that at 20 because Genty's already off the board.
Yep.
Maybe you are worried a little bit about Colston's shoulder and everything that came with that. And then you were to go get, and mostly because we love the drop and we can ask him questions as to what's going on with your auntie.
Auntie too.
Would you get Mason Taylor at 51? Who's
Yeah.
the 36th best player here,
Yes.
but I'm assuming he's still going to be on the board at 51.
Yes. Well, there are rumblings that, yes, Kev, the Broncos like Omari in Hampton, so that's a good thing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And how could you not? How
Right.
could you not? He's my number 2 back in this class. I have a second-round grade on him. I think there's one first-round graded running back, but that second round is so thick because Travion Henderson's really damn good. The most Kamara-like back in this class is Travion Henderson,
And don't you
in my opinion.
I always look at it like 18 through, I don't know what your number is, but 18 through 32, you're getting a second-round player anyway.
Yeah, and this year I believe I have 16 first-round graded players. I have 17 first-round graded players. And then what's rare about this class is from basically 25 to 60, they're kind of the same guy. They're kind of the similarly graded players. So 2 of the top 50, man, I'm thinking you get 3 of the top 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Where's that third rounder at, Kev? What's the number? Because we know it's 20.
It's 85.
It's 53 and it's 85.
I think it's 85.
Is it 85?
I try to memorize the top
Can you
3.
get a top 50 player at 85? Can you do like a Nick Benito thing? Because Nick Benito, you get him. What's the Nick Benito at 64?
Oh, yeah.
Holy beep. Like, that's what you're looking for. In the third, can you get a top 50 pick?
Unless we get blown away, we're going to take Benito. Nick Benito at 64. Holy.
85. Can you
was
get a top
85.
50 player at 85? You're pushing it.
Would Caleb the names that I wrote down of Daniel Jeremiah's top 50, the lowest player is Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa, is 47th on this list. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like he'll be there at 85. I mean, maybe.
This class is so thick.
Isn't that where Cam Scadaboo is? That's where Cam's chilling.
Yeah, he's chilling in that. Devin Neal will be around that spot.
Devin Neal. I like Devin Neal, too.
You've got choices, but like I've said, every other team has these choices.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to take Quinshon Judkins in the second because we can get Caleb Johnson in the third. And the fact that I even spoke that sentence is crazy to me because Caleb Johnson should go in the second round, no question.
Right.
But this class is so thick, you're pushing talent down. And that's where it's kind of, what do you want? You have a buffet of running backs. What do you want? Every team has to answer that question.
Broncos country, we'd love to get your answers. 303-713-1043. RamosLaw.com text line. Is there 2 of the top 50 that you could land? Want to get greedy, maybe land in your top 3 picks of 20, 51, and 85 overall. Let us know on the RamosLaw.com text line who those players are at 303-713.